Welcome to News About Geology. For centuries, the earliest history of life on Earth has felt like a story locked away in stone. But what if we finally found the keys? Well, today, we're exploring two revolutionary new ways, a kind of molecular scanner and a radical new way of thinking that are finally letting us read the book of life right from the very first page.
See, fossils are our only direct record of ancient life, but so many of them are just silent puzzles. Take a look at this. This is Uninozoon, a creature from the Cambrian seas, and for more than 30 years, scientists have been debating what it actually is. An early ancestor to vertebrates, something else entirely? The stone, well, it's kept its secrets pretty well.
And that really is the fundamental challenge, isn't it? It's especially tough when you're dealing with what they call problematic fossils. These are the true weird wonders of the ancient world, whose bodies are so strange they just don't fit into our modern categories of life. They completely defy our attempts to place them on the family tree.
So what is it that makes these ancient stories so notoriously difficult to decipher? Well, it turns out it's a combination of really strange biology and the absolutely brutal chemistry of time itself.
Okay, so first off, the creatures themselves often have these bizarre anatomies completely unlike anything alive today. Then, the very process of becoming a fossil, what we call taphonomy, it warps and hides crucial features. And to top it all off, their soft tissues often get chemically cooked into this generic carbon film called kerogen, which just erases the original molecular detail. It's really like trying to read a priceless old book where the pages have been burnt and the letters are all smudged into charcoal.
But here's where it gets really exciting. A new technique is allowing scientists to see the invisible chemistry that's been hiding in that charcoal all along. It's a true game changer, and it's giving these ancient creatures a clear voice for the very first time. It's called Raman spectroscopy, and probably the simplest way to think of it is as a molecular scanner for fossils. It shoots a laser at the specimen, and by reading how the light scatters back, it can identify the unique vibrational fingerprint of the molecules inside. What's absolutely crucial is that it can tell the difference between original animal tissue, plant matter, or even pigments, all without doing any harm to the priceless fossil.
So how does it actually work in practice? Well, a laser is aimed at that dark carbon film on the fossil. The machine then reads the light that scatters back, and that creates a unique spectrum, a chemical signature for the molecules inside. And all of a sudden, what just looked like an identical black smudge reveals its secrets. It can distinguish, for example, between a tough outer cuticle and delicate internal organs.
So here's the bottom line. The old methods for this kind of analysis were often destructive, and they just couldn't handle these heat-altered kerogen fossils. But Raman spectroscopy is non-destructive, it works perfectly on these abundant but previously unreadable specimens, and it gives clear, tissue-specific signals. This one technique is opening up a vast, previously silent library of the fossil record for molecular study. It's incredible.
But technology is only half the solution. The second key isn't a machine at all. It's a revolutionary new way of thinking about the tree of life itself, a conceptual tool to help us organize all these ancient puzzles.
The concept is called an evolutionary grade. So instead of trying to shoehorn a bizarre fossil into a modern animal group, scientists can place it in a broader category based on a key innovation it achieved. Think of it like a major milestone, like the invention of multicellularity, for instance, or the development of a body with left-right symmetry. It just helps make sense of these creatures that don't fit on the familiar branches of the modern tree.
Take a look at this diagram. You can see organisms grouped into grades A, B, and C based on shared innovations. Now, not all the organisms in grade B are direct cousins, but they all reached a similar level of complexity. This shifts the question from which modern phylum is it to what grade does it belong to? And that's a much more scientific and testable way to approach these ancient outliers.
This whole framework helps us see the step-by-step assembly of the earliest animal bodies. We can compare a simpler, sponge-grade animal on the left with a more complex creature on the right that achieved the next major milestone, a body with two distinct tissue layers, kind of like a modern jellyfish. We can literally see evolution happening in stages or grades.
This kind of thinking is changing geology every single day. And if you love staying on top of these incredible breakthroughs, you should really check out the fantastic content from PGO Ricardo Valls on his YouTube channel. It is a great resource for fellow Earth enthusiasts who just want to keep exploring.
So, what happens when we put these two things together? when we combine this powerful new molecular lens with this flexible new conceptual map.
It means we can finally start resolving some of the biggest mysteries in the fossil record. We can come back to enigmatic creatures like our friend Unano-Zune, and now we can analyze its carbon film with Raman spectroscopy to see what its tissues were really made of, and then use the concept of evolutionary grade to assess its body plan without trying to force it into some modern box.
This is truly transformative. We can now go back and re-examine museum drawers that are full of fossils once labeled uninformative. We can finally place the weird wonders of the Cambrian into a logical evolutionary story. This gives us an unprecedented window into the Cambrian explosion and lets us see, step by step, how the complex animal bodies we know today were gradually pieced together over time.
As researcher Pei-Yun Kong puts it so beautifully, it's like we are finally learning the grammar of evolution. We're parsing each sentence spoken by these ancient creatures from their first great burst of innovation. We're not just looking at the smudged words anymore. We're finally starting to understand the language.
And this leaves us with just a thrilling question about the future of discovery. With these new tools in hand, the Book of Life has countless new chapters just waiting to be read. What long-lost creature story are we going to uncover next? To keep exploring this ever-evolving world and hear more of the incredible stories our planet has to tell, be sure to check out Ricardo Val's channel on YouTube. The link is right there for you, and it's in the description too.
Thanks for watching News About Geology.